Hey, it's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars, and it seems like it's been a while since we've had a 66 Ford F-100 step side truck. A lot of style side trucks out there. This is an original 352 V8 3-speed on the column truck, and man, I'm just kind of fell in love with this thing all over again. Finally having one after a while. So this truck actually was restored about 5 years ago. I call it good looking driver restoration. You know, put a super nice bed in, ordered the right bed kit for it, installed it correctly. Now this was a really minimal rust truck before it was being restored. Supposedly original miles on the odometer showing around 51,000. The body lines are super straight, and aside from a couple of little spots, there's a I'll show you underneath here in just a little bit. This is a almost rust-free truck, but just want to go around and show you the body lines are super straight. Beautiful driver quality black paint job on this truck. It really shines up nice, and we've wiped it down really good. When I think if you wanted to take it to the next level, if you wanted to wet sand and buff it, I think it could bring up another level of shine. But that being said, it's beautiful just the way it is, and I don't think you can see me. I don't usually get to be in my videos, but I mean, you can see that looks like a mirror there. But then I'll get up real close, and even as I do that, and see, yeah, some tiny little bubbles there. You know, not a perfect truck, but not perfect priced either. So this is the kind of truck I like because it's ready to drive, and it's got a few little things that can be tinkered with to finish it off. But you can jump in this truck and drive it just like it is, ready to go. So new tires were put on it at the time. They're the old school bias ply tires, just like original. Step sides are in great shape. Doors open and close nicely. I think if you wanted to, so I will tell you a few little projects along the way as we do the inspection. If you wanted to, you could do new weather stripping, a new dash pad. What I love about this, I call these grown man Legos, and I'm like, if you can order it out of the LMC truck catalog, if you can take it off, you can put it back on. And that's a beautiful thing about these. So, you know, the headliner is older, I believe maybe even original, which is another thing that's cool, is light works, which is great. So yeah, you could reupholster the headliner, the existing headliner, or you could order a new headliner kit and have it installed. Love this tuxedo look, black and white. Original tank in the back. Okay, another easy little project. It's going to need a new sending unit. The fuel gauge is not working. So horn does not work. It's funny because I want to say this. I wanted to start off by saying this is one of those trucks where pretty much everything's working. That's pretty much true, but a couple of little things. So oil pressure gauge here is aftermarket and functional, as well as the amp meter. Fuel gauge not functional at this time. The speedometer is working, and then the temp gauge is hypersensitive. That happens. It needs to be sensor probably just needs to be replaced. It's not overheating. It runs great, and in fact, the man who rebuilt this truck sent the engine off, or had the engine gone through completely. And this is one of the things I love finding in the glove box, aside from the original owner's manual in there, which is really cool. That is actually, that is not a reproduction. I believe that is the original owner's manual. We've got these twin I-beam lenses that go on the side of the truck here, and if you look closely, you'll see those are cracked. These are the brand new ones that go in there. So it'll be a fun little project. And don't get me wrong now, I'm saying that word project just because I'm thinking of this as fun and little things to tinker with, because this is not a project truck. This is a truck that somebody's taken the time and care to go through and repaint, do the engine. So here's something that's fun to find. This is the guy who did a handwritten receipt on the engine rebuild. Carb kit, heater hose, starter clutch and pressure plate, throw out bearings, pilot bushings, water pump and thermostat, air breather, board over 30, knife manifolds, valve job, press pistons. So somebody went all the way through, spent $2,613. And so engine runs obviously like a charm. Carpet kit looks great in it. It's a little bit older, a little fading, but in pretty good shape. Love the tuxedo. I was gonna say maybe a tiny little spot there. I'm not even sure that that's a hole. It might be, but really, really nice looking seat. Hood is easy to open. Hold the camera with one hand and hopefully open the hood with the other. Just that easy. The springs are in great shape. Beautiful engine detail. Inner fender wells, firewall, all rust free. Original tag maintained on the firewall there on the passenger side. This is an old manual, braking system. Manual steering system, just as this original old school. That being said, the truck drives awesome, and I'd say it drives like a really good driving original old school F-100 should. Hood is in great shape as well. No rust anywhere. So the lights work, the turn signals work. Now one thing I noticed, this happens a lot here, that return is just not quite pulling it back. So you gotta push it back just a little, then it catches that primary and then that secondary catching there. So underneath the truck, as impressive as up top, original rust-free frame. Of course, twin I-beam. I mean, this thing rides so much better even than if you go back just a couple of years before the I-beam. Your ride is significantly improved by this technology back in 1966. Original cab corner there, incredible. Rockers are in great shape. One tiny little spot, like maybe a hole there. So here's a couple tiny little spots of rust. There's a spot there, and then they did cut out and put new floor pans in under the bench. Inner fender wells are incredible. Go back and catch the front. My battery light is blinking on me. I want to try and see if there's a little spot of rust right there too. These are tiny little spots that I really think could be real easy patches. This is one of those, like, I was almost surprised to see any rust at all because of how nice it looks on top. Again, back here, not even really much surface rust, much less anything real. So really solid truck back here. New exhaust system was put in. Inner fender well on the passenger side. Again, rust free and solid. Leaf springs look great. Whew, it's windy. I hope you can hear me. I don't know what the microphone is picking up. Again, nice and clean, solid inner fender wells. There's that little patch done on this side, the same spot they missed on the other. So getting underneath the passenger side, rockers in great shape. Again, original cab corners. I mean, this is the original weep holes and everything from the, it's surprising actually, usually when I find these like this, I'm surprised. Now, a couple of little rusty spots there. These are spots about, there's my thumb, so about that big. Be really easy touch-ups. Little LMC truck label there for where these cab support was installed. And then the new floor pan that was stuck in on from the top there, which is that's a pretty common way that a lot of guys are, if you want to, fixing it, it might say do it yourselfer, but I want to be careful to say that. I said new exhaust pipes. It actually looks like they may have just done them out the back. These, it probably was new when it was put in. These were some of the original pipes and new mufflers, of course, with a few years of driving it and everything. Rubbers, bushings, cab mounts in great shape. We'll take it for a quick spin. So yeah, windows roll up and down great on both sides. No cracks in the glass anywhere that I've seen. And actually the emergency brake works. I probably should have sprayed just a touch of lube in there, like just some WD-40. But it's a little tough to pull on the handle. The first time I drove it, I was thinking the emergency brake may not have worked, but I was a little more insistent with it. It actually does. Lights, like I said, are all functional. We'll turn it on, hit the wiper switch. Wipers are working. Choke cable works great. Fan. So heater works good. I'm gonna roll that window up. It's gotten windy. You touch the key on this, it fires right up. Cold mornings, I'm pulling the choke on it just a little bit. 3-speed on the column. Oh, how about we take the brake off? So actually that's doing better now that I've used it a couple times. So the first truck I've had with a functional emergency brake in a while. It seems like that's one thing that everybody misses on these restorations. Speedometer's working. Plenty of power. Steers nice and straight. It maybe could use a little bit of alignment. They may have just accidentally put the steering wheel on a tooth off or so. It's kind of crooked just a hair. Usually what I like to do is, I'd say get a local alignment shop to, you know, do an alignment on it. You got a warranty on that. But man, I mean, this thing tracks straight down the road. Let's say this used to be my finger test. Let's say you can see my finger in the video and see that I'm driving straight. And that hesitation there is just me not, you know, shifting correctly. So this, the transmission's been gone through as well as the engine. The clutch feels amazing. Brake stop, maybe just a hair pulling to the right, just a hair. But I would say actually for me, what this feels like is fairly normal to, you know, to drive one of these old trucks, man. This is a beautiful truck. It's gonna make somebody an amazing Christmas gift. And like I said earlier in the video, I'm using the word project. This is not a project truck. This thing looks amazing, but what I love about it, it's ready to run and drive, cruise around town. But there's the little things that you can just plug away at and do if you want to on your own time. Have some fun on little weekend projects is what I like to call. You know, I've got 2 girls and they love coming up to the shop with